Go on.
I think Sid's right, Craig. I think in time, when the dust settles and everyone looks back, and even the Real Madrid fans look back at how he played and what he's won, and it might be 6 months, it might be a year, whatever the timescale is, they'll realise how good he was.
I think, Sid, the thing that will just kind of grate with Real Madrid fans overall is that for them it's just incomprehensible that you've got a Real Madrid player that doesn't have Real Madrid as their priority, as their number one. And I think that's what kind of struck them the most, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, of course. And look, one of the things here is remember, as we were saying before, right, we're talking about fans. OK, so we're talking about people for whom this club is their everything. And they kind of want their players to be in a position where this club is their everything as well. And when they get the feeling that there is a player, however talented he is, who maybe doesn't think this club is their everything, then of course that grates. And by the way, the better the player, almost the worse that is. So, for example, let's take Gareth Bale as the example. You look at him and you go, that's the guy that just scored the most unbelievable overhead kick I've ever seen in the European Cup final in Kiev. Why did I watch him then spend 5 weeks doing nothing when he can do that? Now, if you've got a player who can't do that, but he runs around a lot, you know that he's giving everything that he's got. But in a way, Gareth almost kind of set the bar too high, you know, because those moments were so good that creates, if you like, a degree of expectation or a demand of him that is almost worse. And in the end, we come back to something very simple. We're talking about fans and we're talking about legacy and we're talking about memories, right? So you look at this and you say, ask Real Madrid fans what they think, for example, of the British players who play for Real Madrid. And the response isn't just about how good were they, what do they win? It's about how did they make you feel every week when you went to the Bernabeu to watch them? How much did you feel like they loved being at Real Madrid? How much warmth did you feel towards them? And that is why, contradictory though it sounds, a lot of Real Madrid fans will say, you know what, Steve McManaman was amazing. Because Steve, well, by the way, Steve won 2 European Cups and 2 league titles. I mean, he was incredibly successful as well. But they go, there was a warmth there. They will look at David Beckham, who actually was part of the team that went 3 years in a row without winning anything, which is the worst run in 50 years at Real Madrid. And he was actually systemically, even though it wasn't David's fault individually, systemically part of the problem, that whole Galacticos idea. But they watched Beckham every single week fly into tackles, seem to care, stand in the centre circle at the end of the game and applaud all 4 sides of the ground when the rest of his teammates had already gone. They had this sense that Beckham knew what this was. This is Real Madrid, and he embraced it, and he wanted us to know that he thought, yes, you're the biggest club in the world. And all of those kind of elements play into how a player is received. It's not just about how good he is, and I suppose in a way that's the bottom line with Bale, and in a way it's almost worse that he was so good. But you say, well, that amazing Bale that I've just seen, why have I spent 3 or 4 weeks not seeing it? Or why is he now sitting out? Why doesn't he seem to care? And that's the problem. And again, let me go back to something here. I'm talking about how the fans respond. I would argue that some of that was very, very overblown, and some of the media treatment of him was overblown, and some of the politics around him, which he was sometimes aware of and sometimes not aware of, was deeply unfair. But those things condition the way that supporters look back on a player and his time at a club, even when he wins, and let's say this again because it is just extraordinary, he wins 5 European Cups.
It goes back to characters.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.